Good morning. Happy Sunday to you all. Happy Easter as we continue through this Easter season. We're on the 5th Sunday of Easter. We still got a few more weeks of this glorious season in the life of the church. Welcome to all visitors with us. Always happy to see new faces around the cathedral. Again, this is another beautiful weekend, both for here at the cathedral, but then also just the church globally. Here at the cathedral, last weekend, we had, I went and counted, 7 baptisms last weekend and a convalidation. So a beautiful weekend of the sacraments. This weekend, then, to continue with that, again, here at the cathedral, we had then one more baptism and then another wedding. So all these beautiful celebrations of the sacraments that are happening here at the cathedral. But then the church globally. Last week, and we know we had the election of our new Pope. Pope Leo XIV is kind of the first weekend of him being elected Pope. Now fast forward to this weekend, as of this morning, was the installation mass for Pope Leo XIV. I don't know if anybody was brave enough to wake up to see the installation mass. We would have had to been up about 2 a.m. this morning to watch it. I did not. I slept right through it. Still need energy to do this mass. But it's a beautiful occasion, beautiful weekend in the church. If you're curious of what it means about the installation of a pope, well, the installation of the pope is when the pope receives all the vestiture as a pope, and then as well will take his seat as head of a country. If you remember, Vatican is its own country. And so they take the seat as the head of that country and also then the representative of all of the Catholics throughout the world. So to make some comparisons, when Bishop Connor was ordained as our bishop, that also then was his own installation. So he got ordained as a bishop, and then he took his seat here at the Cathedral. That was his installation. And so very similar to the Pope being installed as the head of the country, head of all Catholics. Now, particular for the vestiture that the Pope received in the installation. Well, back in the day, there used to be the papal tiara, the 3-tiered papal tiara. In Latin, which my Latin's a little rough, so I might butcher this in Latin. Apologies for any Latin scholars out there. But is pronounced or called the triregnum. That means triple reign. This triple reign signifies the 3 papal powers, as 3 governing offices, that of to teach, to govern, and to sanctify. If you're wondering what this papal tiara looks like, you can probably see some in the stained glass windows of some of our previous popes, but also think of the Vatican flag. If you can picture the Vatican flag, it has on one side the papal tiara and the 2 keys of St. Peter. That triple tier tiara, back in the day, used to be given to the Pope at his installation. That tiara is not used anymore. It wasn't used this morning. I checked to make sure it wasn't used. But nowadays, instead, the Pope is invested with his mitre. So that traditional bishop hats that we even see Bishop Condola wearing. But then also, he is given, as the Pope, his crozier. Again, like the pastoral staff that you see Bishop Condola use as well. The Pope has one also. He is invested in that in his installation. But then a little what sets the installation of a Pope apart from, say, Bishop Condola's is that then also the Pope is invested with the pallium. The pallium is a stole that has one pendant hanging on the front and another pendant hanging down his back. And also, he is given what's known as the ring of the fishermen. The ring of the fishermen is the Pope's ring. All of this, pretty cool stuff. I find this stuff to be pretty cool, at least, to hear and to read about these things. But all of this regalia of the Pope is not just for the pomp and circumstance of such an occasion. Sometimes, this installation would take about 6 hours to do. It's not just for this high pomp and circumstance because we have a Pope, but rather all of these truly serve as a reminder, serve as a symbol of an outward calling. It's this outward calling to go into the world and to love. It's the very call that is coming forth from the gospel today. As Jesus is saying, I give you a new commandment. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you also should love one another. First and foremost, the Pope is called to do just this. Very much like Jesus did, to go out into the world and to love. Think about some of the other sacraments, some of the other symbols that come with the sacraments. The sacrament of matrimony. You have the symbol of the rings, the exchanging of rings. That is a reminder for that couple to live their love out in the world. One of the readings that could be chosen for a wedding mass is the reading of, you are the salt of the earth, you are the light of the world. It's a beautiful reminder, and the rings serve as a beautiful reminder that your love out in the world for each other is going to help preserve the love of Christ in the world, because your love for each other models that of Christ sacrificially laying his life down for the church. So again, that wedding ring serves as a beautiful symbol to love out in the world. Think of baptism, the symbols that you receive at baptism, your baptismal garments, your baptismal candle. All of these, again, symbolize this call to go out in the world. Carry this baptismal garment out into the world with you. Keep it unstained. This flame that you've received in your baptismal candle, the light of Christ, carry that out in the world with you. Let it grow continually day by day so to become a burning flame that can set the whole world on fire. All these symbols are a reminder of an outward calling for us. And so now these papal symbols, if we look at the pallium, again, that stole that goes on the front and the back, it is made from wool that is partly supplied from the 2 lambs that are offered to the Pope every year on the feast of St. Agnes. If you know about St. Agnes, she usually is depicted holding a lamb. Well, 2 lambs are given to the Pope on her feast day, and so that pallium is made from some of that wool. It's a reminder to the Pope that he is the good shepherd tasked with caring for his flock. Again, he has to go outward of himself to care for the flock that's entrusted to him as a good shepherd. The crozier he receives, the pastoral staff that he receives, is purposely shaped as a shepherd's crook to remind the Pope of his responsibility to care for even the weakest among us. As sometimes a shepherd would have to pull the sheep back into the fold with his crook, he sometimes has to care for those who are straying, has to care for the weakest among us and to protect them as well. This ring that he receives, the ring of the fishermen, on this ring bears the image of St. Peter. Even this morning, Father O'Brien was telling me as he was given his ring, Pope Leo XIV was given this ring this morning, was kind of praying there, just kind of looks at his ring, this ring of the fishermen, and tears kind of started coming out of his eyes. But this ring is a reminder to the Pope that he is now the modern day fisher of men. As St. Peter was called to go and be a fisher of men, now as the successor of Peter, Pope Leo XIV is now that fisher of men. Beautifully, all these symbols are serving as a reminder to the Pope to go out into the world and to love the whole church. Brothers and sisters, likewise, the whole church, every single one of us, are called to this outward calling to go and to love as Christ has loved the world. Even this weekend, another beautiful thing happening this weekend. In Indianapolis is the beginning of the National Eucharistic Pilgrimage. So last year we had the Eucharistic Congress that was in Indianapolis. There was 4 pilgrimages going through the country to Indianapolis, heading towards the Congress. Now that this Eucharistic Congress is over, they have one pilgrimage that's starting today that's going back out into the world. So our Lord in the Eucharist is going to be traveling from Indianapolis to Los Angeles. Actually, we'll be passing through Tulsa here on May 30th. But the beauty of that is that as we were coming to gather together around the Eucharist at the Congress, it doesn't just end there, but it signifies going back out into the world on mission. Because the church is on mission. It's on mission to go out into the world and to love one another. Brothers and sisters, this is the mark of a true disciple. As we hear in the gospel, this is the mark of a true disciple. The mark of a true disciple is not by thinking about Jesus. A mark of a true disciple is not memorizing everything that he says. A mark of a true disciple is not by observing religious rules. A mark of a disciple is not receiving the sacraments. All of those are good, but truly know that a mark of a true disciple is those who go out. They go out into the world and to love as Christ has loved.